Greetings. Greetings, y'all. So, y'all probably sick and tired of me. I've been posting videos and stuff and going live all day, but no. Yeah. So, yesterday I wanted to share a message with you guys, but I guess it wasn't the divine right time to do it. And full disclaimer, you guys, and this happens, it's natural. Just, when you're walking in your spiritual path, knowingly or unknowingly, anytime you expose something, like let's say it's an inner demon within yourself, you hear something, it triggers your spirit, you don't like it, it doesn't feel good to hear it. Not from a place of like you feel bad or you feel like you're being what's the right word? Not convicted, but where you feel like you're being condemned. It's not that type of feeling. It's a conviction within yourself, and it's like that it's something within you that needs to be corrected, but you don't want to hear it. It's uncomfortable to hear, right? And then there's those instances where you have people you could be talking about, hey sis, oh look at that little cute emoji, it's so cute. You have those people, like, how you could post a complete like meme about something that has nothing to do with anybody in particular. It could just be you posting about a truth about something, and then hit dogs are gonna holler, they're gonna get mad, they're gonna get triggered. And I know that the things that I say, the messages that I deliver, they're not always light and fluffy, and they're going to trigger people, whether it's going to trigger you into healing and revelation to do better, because these are things that you already know within yourself, like it. And then there's those that get triggered by it because they know that they're wicked. They know that they operate in wickedness and demonic behavior. And it's just so funny how people tell on themselves, and it's just like, whole time you ain't even talking about them, but they get triggered and they get mad and they show their ass, and it's like you expose yourself, like you're ridiculous. So there's people that live rent, like you live rent free in some people's mind, and these are people that you don't even think twice about. You don't, they don't mean nothing in your reality or your world, but they're so triggered by your existence, or they're so triggered by the things that you do and what you say. And I have people on my channel that be watching me that don't like me, but they just watch to keep up. They watch just to talk shit. And they're so foolish. Like, they're so stupid. Like, lower than low, scummer than scum. Like, they need to get a life, for real. But this is not what this is about. You cannot walk like that in your journey where you feel like no matter what I do, no matter what I say, somebody's not going to like it, so therefore I shouldn't say it, or I should hold my tongue. Or there's a time and place for everything where, hey, Ashley, there's a time and place for when you speak your truth and how you conduct yourself and how you express it. And there's some instances where you are called to say nothing, right? But it's another thing to know when to speak, how to direct it, and when not to, versus being like, I shouldn't, I'm not, coming from a place of fear, coming from a place of insecurity or self-doubt. And you're not meant to be hidden. This is a thing. Like, your light is going to irritate people. And when I say light, it doesn't always have to be a light and fluffy energy. And my dogs agree. It doesn't always have to be a light and fluffy energy where your light is always going to be something that, like, you're always chipper, you're always happy, and then people that are not happy, the people that are not chipper, are going to feel some type of way. Sometimes light means exposing darkness. Your light, you can't hide yourself away. So it's like, and I've used this metaphor before, where you come into a dark space and there's roaches running around, and you turn those lights on, the roaches are going to scatter. It's like that. And I know people don't like me. Some people do not like me, but they still be watching my channel. I can't figure it out for the life of me why people still fucking watch me, or why people stalk me. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it for anyone that you don't like somebody but you keep up with him. Like, that's fucking crazy to me. It's delusion. Like, it makes no sense. Like, what do you get from that? And that's why I said in that other video that I did about the guy, that narcissistic guy in that video, teaching people how to manipulate healed people. That type of energy right there, they don't like you. They don't like your light. They hate it. They fucking despise it, but at the same time, they're drawn to it. As long as they can feed off of it, as long as you make them feel comfortable in their bullshit, as long as you validate their bullshit and their delusions and their craziness, they like you. But as soon as you expose a thing or you remove yourself, they fucking attack you because they never liked you in the first place. They like your energy. They like what you provide and what you can give. I just had this conversation with my good sis earlier today. I was talking about that movie Cruel Intentions, how Ryan Phillippe and what was her name, 𝗟𝗏𝗡𝗄, the two stepbrother and stepsister, how they like to plot on people, how they like to mess people's worlds up. They took pleasure in that, and they were both mentally unstable. I think they were going to see psychiatrists and stuff. Like, they weren't mentally right in the head. So they would plot on different people in their school to ruin their lives because they liked it. And 𝗟𝗏𝗡𝗄 in particular bet with Ryan Phillippe and was like, oh, there's this one girl, and she was like the good girl. She was like she was the good girl. She was like, you know, kind of innocent, and I think she was a virgin. And they had this plot like, oh, I need you to get at her. I want you to, you know, take her virginity because she didn't like girls like her. 𝗟𝗏𝗡𝗄, she said she was jealous of girls that were like her. So it's a thing of, I want to taint a person's energy. And that movie is kind of like a good depiction of those types of people that come in to take from your energy. They take great pleasure in tainting your energy, your reputation, causing, inflicting pain upon you, stealing your joy away from you. And it's something as such as wicked as someone plotting to take your virginity away from you, something that is precious to you, and creating a fake relationship to take your virginity. That is evil. So 𝗟𝗏𝗡𝗄 and Ryan Phillippe, they were evil. They were wicked in that movie, Cruel Intentions. If you ever seen that movie, it's a 90s movie. It's a very popular movie. They were wicked. They were psychologically fucked up. So I say this to say, because this is a testament to you guys, that was me, the person that would fall for the traps and the snares of people like that. And being kind of, you know, being naive, where you took everybody in, or you look at people from a perspective of these are just kind people. And ever since I've been on YouTube or on Instagram or whatever, I've attracted people spiritually that are not well. Okay? They're not mentally sane. Some of them, they create this whole false reality about you, girls and guys. You're my twin flame, you're this, you're that, or bitch, you're doing this to me, you're stalking me, you're like delusional, like they're crazy, right? And I notice that it's every time I say something and I speak up and I expose something and it has nothing to do with them, oftentimes it's just me doing a reading, or it's just me sharing something. They get triggered by it. And so now, it used to really get underneath my skin, like where I would have to like say, okay, I got to be careful in what I do, what I say. And when God would tell me to speak about certain things or certain messages, it would trigger people. And I would be like, okay, I don't want to say it. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But it's like, no, fuck that. That's the spirit of intimidation. Those demons, those demons within people, or those inner issues and those psychological issues that these people have nothing to do with you. On the grand scheme of things, it's your light, but it's really the light of truth on things. It has nothing to do with you. Has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with that spirit within that person or that person's own inner issues. It has nothing to do with you. And when you get that in your head, you're not going to allow that spirit of intimidation to get to you and keep you quiet. Okay? And I didn't recognize that this is such a popular word and popular term and topic, narcissistic abuse and all of that. It's so popular, but I'm sure we've all dealt with it in our life, and I've dealt with it since I was a child before I even knew what that even meant. Like growing up around a narcissistic personality disorder person, adult, and to going into like everyday life and experiencing those types of personalities. And people could say it's a personality disorder. I say it's a demon. Narcissism is a demonic like nature, in my opinion. It just is. So it's a spirit of intimidation that comes behind narcissistic abuse. It's to cause you to be silent. It's to cause you to be quiet, to be docile, to live in fear, to cause you to doubt yourself. That's really what it is. To make you feel like you're hopeless. And yeah, it's this punishment. If you don't do what as I want you to do or validate my demons, I'm going to attack you. I'm going to slander you. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. That shit don't bother me no more because I know it's a demon. I know what it is. It's not something that you should be bothered and intimidated by. If anything, you should be empowered by it because that means that you're doing something. Whenever you trigger a person's inner demons, that means you're exposing a thing. It's up to that person whether or not they within themselves say, you know what, I need to work on that part of myself, because none of us are perfect. We all have inner demons that we struggle with, right, at times, or things about ourselves that we don't necessarily like. But there's a difference between people that say, you know what, I have a problem, I have something that I need to heal, I need to work on, versus projecting it out on everybody else. And I have a tendency to do that to people. I've had people attack me from the genesis of starting my channel. And at this point, I don't give a fuck no more. I used to be like, okay, maybe I'm doing too much. Oh, okay, that, because I wanted to please everybody. I want everybody to be all happy and I want everybody to like me type thing. Now it's like, if it's not for you, why are you tripping? And if it's for you, then hey, this is a beautiful thing to show you. You know what, you're welcome. Like, okay, I'm showing you something that you need to work on. And for other people, they're just simply just unfixable. Some people are just gone. They're not there no more. They're tapped. They're gone. They're tapped out. You can't do shit for them. They're gone. And you're not here to fix and heal people from a perspective of where you're responsible for it. So I recognize that I have to be mindful of what I do and what I say, but there's also a point in time where we're all adults here, right? And I've come across some very crazy, sick people on here on YouTube and off of YouTube and on Instagram, and the spiritual community is filled with beautiful people, filled with amazing, gifted individuals, game changers, trailblazers, just life forces of beautiful energy. And then there's those that are dark, that are mentally and spiritually sick, right? I can't stress it enough. I try to have empathy for everybody, but there's some people that I just can't have empathy for because it's like, you're a whole demon. And people don't believe in that. I've seen the manifestation of demons in people. I've seen it. I had to help somebody cast out a demon out of someone else before. Like, I've seen this is real shit. So when these types of people come at you and all of that, like, I try to empathize, but at the same time, it's just like, I really don't like your fucking energy. It's sad and it angers me because some people don't even know that they're they're gone. You can't do anything. You can't say anything. You can't. Yeah, it's scary, especially coming from somebody that you love. Like, I've had to help a friend cast out a demon out of another friend. And seeing that in real time, you can't be emotional. You can't be afraid. You gotta confront that thing. But there's just some people that you can't. And you're not required to do that. I've accepted the fact that my spirit, my energy irritates people's demons. They have no reason not to like me but for the simple fact of something being exposed, and I don't even have to do or say anything to them because I don't walk around trying to hurt people's feelings and trying to provoke people into anger and all of that. That's not me. Like, I like my peace. I don't like no drama. I like peace. So when people come at it with that type of energy, and like I said, sometimes you don't even know these people. You never even did nothing to them. It could just be in passing. I've made friends off of here on YouTube, and they've like made crazy ass fucking claims about me, just some crazy wild shit. Crazy dudes and females. Oh, you're my twin flame and you're my person. And it's like, bitch, where are you getting this from? Like, it makes no sense other than people are not well. They are not well. They're not. Like, there's this chick from a long time ago that I befriended that still be like hit me up on fake pages, and some crazy ass dude like making videos about, like, they're fucking psychotic, like they're crazy. And so I can't do nothing for them. Like, it's not my responsibility. So let's say all that to say, like, good luck for real. Like, I don't care what y'all gotta say. You can email me, you can make fake pages, you can create more videos talking shit about me, you can slander my name. Like, I don't give a fuck. You have fun doing that by yourself. Have fun in that la la land that you created. Like, I have nothing to do with that. Have fun. It's your Mario world. Just live up in that bitch by yourself. So it's crazy. Like, it just I don't know. Like, I'm just flabbergasted. Like, for real. Like, I really don't be thinking about nothing other than let me deliver a message, and then people get triggered and they think that it's about them, and I'm just like, I guess a hit dog gonna holler, but come on, like, it's collective. It's a collective message. Like, what the fuck? Like, why are you triggered by a collective message? Unless it's something that's for you. Like, this is the thing that I don't get about people. And it's so scary how people can live in a reality of like complete delusion, complete chaos, complete just darkness and evilness, that they'll project that onto you. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, where are you getting this from? Like, it's crazy. So when I say, like, sometimes I'll be like, oh, why don't I have these such and such amount of views and this and that, and I should be, doing way more because I know my messages are helpful and effective, and I'm passionate about what I do, and I should be so much more than this. But at times I'm like, thank God that I don't have that large audience, because some, like, from what I've seen, some readers deal with on a day-to-day basis, and like some people, they're lunatics out there. They really are. They're crazy. Like, for real. Like, they're fucking crazy. They're crazy. Like, I don't even pay attention to no shit no more. I just be like, I don't care anymore. When I used to be bothered because, like, yeah, I like my peace. But now I don't give a fuck. You can have a field day, have fun, play Barbies, like, play house in your mind of your crazy delusions. Like, have fun with that. That's not my reality. I'm not involved in that. Whatever story you made up about me in your own head, have fun with it, because that's not me. That is not my energy. So whatever diversions you've created, have fun with that. And I feel sorry. Like, there's a part of me, like I said, I have a hard time having empathy for some of these people. But a part of me does feel bad for these people, because it's like, that's a mental prison to be in, to constantly be in a chaotic, disorderly place within yourself where you just hate everybody or you hate specific people and you have to attack, you have to call people out of their God-given names and slander their names and make fake pages and make videos about them and post and stalk and comment and waste your fucking time because bitch, you bitch ass people, your shit just gets filtered out. I don't even see it. It just gets deleted. So you're wasting your fucking time, basically. Basically. So to the men and the women that have a problem with me, one minute you like me, one minute you hate me, you're cussing me out, and you know, the crazy, like I told you about that. I'm not even gonna give this person clout, but they're the most persistent psycho that I have ever experienced in my life. Like the most persistent. But that person is just, they they're nuts. And I come to a place where I can't do nothing about that. There's nothing that I can do. It's not my responsibility. Like this person is a stranger. They're not a family member. They're not a friend. They're nothing that for me to be like, oh, I feel bad. I can't do nothing about what a stranger thinks about me. I can't do that. There's nothing that I could say or do about it. You know what I mean? So take it from me, y'all, because I know that it's not easy to deal with adversities, and especially dealing with other people. It's not easy, and you're never, ever, ever, and I want people to get this, especially women, you're never, ever, ever, ever going to fulfill everybody's needs around you. And I had this conversation earlier this morning with my friend Tori. We were talking about this, and no more people pleasing. Because people can have a perception and idea about you. Like it always starts with your parents. It always starts with the home or the family, where they have a certain perception of you. You know, that we come into this world and it's like we're placed with expectations on our back. And we try to live up to that. And as women, whether you're heterosexual or you're a gay woman, women have a tendency to want to mold themselves to please everybody, please their family, their mama, their daddy, their friends. They want to fit in. They want to, for their lovers, they want to be the perfect woman. And women, we're pressured by society to look a certain way. No matter what culture we are in, there's some type of standard that women are taught they have to live up to, whether it's by character, whether it's by physical appearance, no matter what it is, that pressure to live up to that. And this woman, I follow her on Instagram, and I think she has a podcast. She may have a YouTube channel. I'm not sure. Her name on Instagram is I Was That Girl Too. I think it is I Was Her Too, or I Was That Girl Too, something like that. And she did a post where she said that there was a time where she molded herself to try to fit into what every man wanted her to be, or what society says a perfect woman should be. And she said she stopped doing that to herself and started focusing on the woman that she wanted to be. And I always say this, I always stress this to y'all, like you have to seek out your divine identity. Like who are you outside of what the world tells you you have to be, or what they tell the world a man or woman should be. And to find out who it is that you're called to be, and who you strive to be, and be better for you. Because the people that are for you, and especially like the romantic partner thing, the people that are for you are going to gravitate to who you are. We all been there, done that. Yeah, baby, we all been there. We've all done that. Like that just, it's human nature to want to be a part of a collective, be a part of a community, be a part of a tribe, to feel, because love is the highest vibration. It's the highest form of energy. So of course you're going to want to gravitate and feel that connectivity with people around you. But you got to find your own uniqueness, because if there's a tribe of people, everybody has a different role that they play in their community, in their tribe. Everybody has different skill sets and gifts and what's the right word? Strengths, right? Where the next person may have a different gift, has a different strength, has a different talent, a different capability, but it all can coexist together. It can work to empower everybody around. We've been taught ass backward that we got to be the loudest in the room. We have to be the prettiest, the smartest, the most gifted. In the spiritual community, to think that when you're tapping into your spiritual self, because we've made spirituality an identity rather than a life form, like a way of life. And so when we get into these whole, spiritual communities, and we start getting into the spirituality thing, right? It starts to become a ego fest for certain people, where everyone has to flex their spiritual muscles. Oh, I'm more gifted, I'm more talented, I'm more powerful, I'm more this, I'm more that. And then you see the attacks, you see the cattiness, you see the, oh, I know more than you, I have more knowledge than you, oh, I'm a scholar in this, and oh, I went this and I studied that. It gets to be an ego fest rather than let's all collectively come together. Some people are not a part of your soul tribe, but I do believe that as a collective of human beings, we all come from a similar fabric. Divine source is that cloth, and we're just pieces of that cloth, right? So there's something that we can somewhat relate to with each other. We may not fully vibe or fully connect, but there's something that we can relate to and say, hey, like, you know cut from a similar cloth. But that doesn't mean that we have to necessarily, get along, be friends, work together, marry, do this, do that. We can coexist and just let it be that. Just like animals come from different, they're all animals, right? They're a creation of divine source, but there's different types of creations. There's amphibians, and I always say that word wrong. There's canines, there's blah blah blah, X, Y, and Z. And they can coexist. Yeah, some of them, they're part of the food chain for some of the animals, but there's a coexistence in that. With the birds, there's different species of birds, there's different sizes of birds, but they still coexist in a habitat. Like, why can't humans do that? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't. That is a part of me that has that heart of a child, that I believe in the kumbaya to an extent, other than I don't fuck with demons. I don't fuck with them. They don't like me, I don't like them. Point blank, point period. And sometimes I try to separate the demon from the human vessel, but some people are just inhabitants for demons, and you can't do nothing. Just can't. So, long story short, because I feel like I was going off a tangent, but I had to just get that out the way, because I wanted to speak on this last night, where it's like sometimes you don't understand it, and I'll take it to this level too. Not such a dark, heavy, demons, angels, and demons version, but you could feel like you're not as accomplished as your peers around you, and you may not understand why certain people don't want you in their circles, why you don't ever get invited to the parties and the functions, and why you don't get the congratulations and all of that. What I've experienced and learned in my 30 plus years of life, which is not a long life, but it is enough time to experience some shit, that not everybody that calls you a friend or calls you family or is your blood is going to necessarily be comfortable with you. You can irritate people just by the fact that you don't have to have $1 million and you could be happy. Whereas people that have $1 million can just have beef with you. You don't understand why. You don't understand why they flex on you, or they try to, make you feel like an outcast or make you feel lesser than. It's really because a lot of times people's true confidence is not based off of inner confidence. It's not based off of Godfidence, God confidence. And when I say that, not God complex, but an inner knowing of who you are to the core of your being, without all the extras, without the physical, like, oh, I look like, the standard of beauty, I'm the universal standard of beauty, or I have a 2023, blah, 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 blah. And I have a mansion and I got a house on the beach and I got this much money in my bank account, or whatever superficial things that can be stripped from you, because we're not going to be in this physical vessel forever. So you can love your appearance and say that, you know, I'm an attractive man or I'm an attractive woman, or I like this about my appearance and this and that, and my health means something to me. But to make it a thing that validates you, or the fact that you need the validation from other people. So people that don't have, this is what I've experienced. This is just from my perspective, from my life experience, that people usually that don't have anything, and this is not every person that doesn't have anything, but a lot of people that are impoverished, and I noticed this, I've looked at people like certain kids and stuff from Africa, and I noticed that they don't really have as much as American. Matter of fact, they don't even have a like a portion percentage of what American kids have. Even those that we say are in the ghetto, kids in the ghetto be having all kind of technology and stuff that I don't even have. So kids in Africa, they could find something, they could find anything to make music out of, to dance to. They could be dancing in dirt and they have the most beautiful smiles. And it'd be those types of people that don't have as much as the next person that has the most beautiful energy and the most beautiful character, versus people that have everything, they have the ugliest character. Those are the poor. Because if you strip that from them, they're nothing. They feel like nothing. Not to say that they're not nothing, but they feel like nothing. They feel like, oh, okay, I'm not worthy unless I'm in this Mustang, or I'm in this Lamborghini, I'm in this, or I have that. I have this amount of money in my bank account. This person or this person's in my life, or everybody knows my name. If you strip that from those people, they're going to feel like they're nothing. Because they're not building off of character and good heart. They're all about the external. They get their validation. And I didn't understand that, why certain people that I thought were cool didn't want me around, because I don't have it like that. Like, I don't. I'm not the most popular person. I'm not rich. You know, I don't have it all, you know. And some people could, you know, well, I have this, I have a fancy title, I have this, or I have a partner, or I have this, I have that. And it's kind of like a flex, but at the same time, if you have a level of peace within you, within yourself, not saying that you're perfect, but you don't seek validation from external things. People don't really vibe with that. They don't want you around them because you could see past that. Or there's a level of feeling inferior. I remember, I think I was like in my mid 20s, if not early 20s. I probably was like 22, 23 years old. Hey, Leslie, I was like probably 23, 22 years old. And I was working at this call center, and I had a best friend that I work with, and she had the most bubbly personality. Like, she had dimples. She was she was super sweet, and everybody liked her. Like, she could talk to anybody. I'm the introvert friend that always attracts the extroverted friend. So she would always like talk to everybody in the office, and there would be times, because I would feel like I would have to hide myself. Like, I always like kept myself up and dressed nice and stuff, you know, whatever. But there was always a part of me that didn't want to be seen to an extent. I always wanted to hide. And I felt like people didn't like me. So I never made the effort to really get to know people sometimes. And when I would be around her, I would feel small. I would feel uncomfortable because I felt like I had to be just as loud as her or just as bubbly as her. But that's, you know, I have my own personality. But there was another part of me that was self-rejecting myself before anybody else could reject me. So although I loved her, she had a beautiful energy, there was times where I didn't feel good enough to be around her. So I would kind of like try to exclude myself out of conversations or exclude myself from being around other people in the workplace because I didn't feel like I would be accepted. And some people just didn't. And it could have been the energy that I radiated off of. And some people later found out like, oh no, Chenoa, she's cool. But some people still didn't like me. And that cattiness stuff Because that's another thing too. And my friend, the one I was just telling you about, she would tell me all the time that she felt underappreciated. As much as she felt like she was like the nice person and everybody liked her, there would be times where she felt like people really didn't like her. She felt like, they were just using her, or they were just being fake. So she had her own complex about her too. So sometimes we can dim our own light because we don't feel like we're good enough. So sometimes when people don't want you around, and you could think, oh, I ain't shit, I don't have anything, I don't have X, Y, and Z, they have this, they have that, or people like them, or they seem to be whatever, they still have their own inner issues. And sometimes like not being around you it makes them comfortable to be in that energy. They don't have to come out of that. So if you're around people that have to find validation through external things, superficial things and material things, they're not going to be able to be around a person that doesn't, they're rich within self. They're not going to be able to really be comfortable around you because they're not going to be able to keep up that facade with you. And another thing, case in point, whenever you do the work where you could have been the party chick, the party dude that just partied and bullshit. You didn't really have any, self-control over your life. And you and those friends were tight and thick as thieves as long as you're in that energy. But as soon as you say, you know what, the clubbing scene is boring to me, the party scene, like it's not safe, or it's just played out to me, I feel like I've outgrown that, you don't hear from them people no more. Or not like that. They're not trying to, see you, or you meet up or hang out or talk. They're not trying to do that because they don't resonate with that energy that you're in. That's okay. Because what does it look like for a person to be on a completely different path to say, you know what, I don't resonate with the party scene, and you have friends that still want to party? They are not going to be able to vibe with you anymore. It just is what it is. It is what it is. And that's the part of the self where you also just be like, this is my path. And some people come and some people go. It's beautiful to have those people that stick around for life. Those are your people. But those that aren't really truly a part of the tribe, they may have played a significant role in seasons in your life, and you and theirs, but that's it. You know what I mean? And every connection that I've encountered in my life, like, I'm grateful to an extent, even the most painful ones, because I wouldn't be where I'm at this present moment in my life if it wasn't for that experience. And I've been the villain in somebody's story. I can guarantee you that, with full taking ownership of that. Like, some people just make you a villain and it's just like, bitch, you're crazy. Like, okay. But then there's also where you are the villain. Like, you have been that toxic person. And I can definitely say that in my youth, in my early years, like 18, early 20s, mid 20s, I was a mess to an extent. Like, there is a lot of things, and I feel like that comes with the growth, and I take full responsibility and accountability for that part of myself that was toxic. Even if I say, oh, I was young or I didn't love myself, I still have to take accountability. You know what I mean? So every part of yourself is meant to be acknowledged and to have some compassion. There's a way to hold yourself accountable in a place of compassion rather than hating yourself and beating yourself up. Because it's so easy to be like, oh, I was so stupid, or, oh, I feel like I'm a bad person. But as long as you acknowledge that you were in the wrong, but at the same time, you don't condemn yourself or chastise yourself to the point of like it's self-hating. You know what I mean? And y'all know I can go on a tangent. I'm really trying not to, because I thought it was just going to be a quick message, because I typed it in my notes last night. It was like a download that I got, that your inner confidence irritates the people that seek outside validation and find validation in material things. It really does. And I didn't even want to get on the topic of people that are irritated by your light, like how darkness can be irritated by your light. But it is what it is. Not everybody is if you think about the vibrational frequency scale, I think I showed you guys it before. I forgot who created it, but it's like a scale, kind of like a cone shaped scale. Excuse me. And then it has like the different vibrations, like desire, and beneath it is like despair, whatever lower vibrational energies. And then you have at the top surrender, um, complacence, just whatever, like those higher energies. And it's like when you get to those certain places, and I've noticed on the scale that the higher you go, it does require you to have that courage to come out of those energies. If anybody's ever been in a dark place within yourself, it really takes everything in your entire being to pull yourself out of that dark space, out of your own mind, out of your own emotions. Because it feels like hell when you're in it. It almost feels like something is sitting on you. It was probably around like 20, I want to say 20, like whenever the Rona, the pandemic had came around. At that time, towards like the end of the year, I take that back. It was way before the pandemic. It was probably like around 2018-19 where one of my relatives committed suicide, and it was so unexpected. And it really triggered me into my dark night of the soul, like to where I was really battling suicidal thoughts at that time. And it took everything in me. And of course, I had friends that helped me through it, but they can only help me through so much. I literally felt like that spirit on me, like it was heavy on me, like I could feel it on my back, like it was like a shadow. If I could paint a picture for you, me sitting, and then this dark cloud of energy, or like this spirit that's formed into this dark cloud just sitting on my back, and just like this whole cloud being casted around me. And let's say it's like light elsewhere, it's light, it's sunny, it's beautiful, but this bubble thing is causing me to feel like I'm in this dark space, because it's like a spirit that was like on me, and it had me questioning my entire existence. It made me hate myself. It was making me think about taking myself out. And I said, it took me a while, like almost a year, to break that spirit off of me, because I was battling a demon that really didn't want me to be here. And I'll never forget this. A friend of mine said, that thing on you, it wouldn't be attacking you if it wasn't something you're supposed to do here. There's something about your purpose that's crazy, that this thing does not want you to be here. It's attacking the fuck out of you. Like it's really attacking you. And that could have been like energy being sent my way too from other people that don't like me. It could be my own insecurities that were all tapped into it at once. But that thing that was on my back, that was trying to convince me not to be here, was trying to take me out for a reason. If I was out here harming people, if I was out here just being a bitch and being a dick to every single person I came across, and just doing this and doing that, that thing wouldn't be messing with me. It's like, oh yeah, you doing the devil's work, have fun, live it up, YOLO, have fun. But anytime you try to make a change for yourself, and especially other people, because why else, and whoever else is listening, I just want to say this to you and for you. Any person that has a voice, since the day you were born, or probably in your adolescence, something tried to shut that voice down. Whether it was a voice in your own self that you heard that told you you weren't worthy, or you weren't good enough, no one wants to hear what you have to say, you're stupid, you're not smart, or you heard it verbally through other people. Because if your voice wasn't shit, that wouldn't be happening to you. If you didn't have something to say, or if your voice didn't hold weight spiritually in a way that can transform your life and transform another person's life, because our words are powerful. The power of the tongue is powerful. It creates realities and worlds. So when you speak, it holds weight. So to have yourself being tormented like that, or to go through suicidal experiences and thoughts, in my opinion, those are demons as well. Because I can't fathom, because I always sat with this, what makes a person feel like they're so low at their life where they feel like it's no longer worth living, that they can't pick their life back up again, or they don't see this as just a season, to where they say, you know what, this is, I can't take it anymore, I don't want to be here, where they have the courage to take themselves out. I'm like, it has to be a demon. I'm sorry, that's just my perception of that. It's such a dark energy. If you've ever been there, it is a heavy, dark energy to be in that space, to get to the point where you think that you're not supposed to be here anymore, that you're worthless, or that people don't need me. That is a lie from the pits of motherfucking hell. That is a lie. It's a lie. It is a lie. And I hate that for my family member, that she got to a place where she didn't want to be here anymore. I hate that. The thought of that. It's haunting. It really fucked my head up. Because I didn't know that she was dealing with that. I didn't know she was struggling with that. So I take pride in being able to say to myself, like, I've combated that demon, because that's really what it is. It takes you strength to pull yourself out of the dark places. And I can't say that I did it by myself, because yes, I had people around me helping me, and I also had the Spirit of God on me to break me free of that. Because it's dark. It can get dark to the point where you feel it and it's this heavy energy on you, but it's not, it cannot stand. It cannot stand. And like, whoever's listening to this that resonates with that and has dealt with that or is dealing with that, that wouldn't be happening to you if there wasn't something on your life that was meant to, no matter the level of influence, but nonetheless it's powerful, that if it wasn't so, that spirit wouldn't be attacking you so much. There's something about you that is very, very powerful and transformative, healing, inspirational, and all those great things, where dark forces of energy are trying to convince you that you're not supposed to be here and you're nothing. That's a lie. That is a lie. And I don't care what it looks like right now, if it looks like you don't have this, or you're not excelling in this, and people have done this to you, and this person broke up with you, because I've seen people say that they didn't want to live anymore because of a lover breaking up with them, or because somebody told them that they wanted a divorce, or whatever. Nothing or no one outside of you is worth you taking your own life either. I don't care if you lost a job. I don't care if you go through a divorce. I don't care if that person cheats on you with your mama. It is not worth it. Because this is another thing too. If you feel like you have to be validated by people, humans, by the numbers, because that was me, by the numbers, by where you're at in life. Oh, you're 30 years old, you should be married, you should have this, you should have, oh, you should have did that, and you need to go to school for this, and why didn't you do this instead, and oh, this is the path that you're on, oh, well, you know what, maybe you need to do something else because this ain't working out, you know, this isn't lucrative enough, you need to do something else, right? I heard it all. And your journey is your own. It really is. The only reason why we feel like we're pressured to live into a certain mold is because we're living by the timetables of man-made timetables and structures and culture. Whereas, like, we came here with our own journey to follow through with. We came here with our own template, and some of us have to figure out what that is and where our souls and passions lie, where our soul is driving us. And sometimes a part of the journey is not knowing. Sometimes a part of the journey is feeling stagnant, feeling confused. Sometimes that's part of the journey. We don't have to always have it figured out. You win some and you lose some. That's a part of the journey as well. But to think that your validation and your existence is going to come outside of yourself, you're going to be disappointed every time. Every time. Because no man or no woman has the power to validate you. They don't. They can't. Not even being married, because a lot of people put their stock on, or their worth on being married. Oh, I'm married. I was chose, right? But it don't mean shit if it's not with the right person. You know what I mean? But even then, your husband, your children, your mother, your father, your jobs, your diplomas, your certifications, your beauty, your wisdom, some of these things, yes, they are valuable, but they don't validate your entire existence. Before you came here, before you came into this existence, you didn't have no, some of us didn't have hair. Like, I had hair. I had an afro when I was born. But some people came here, you didn't have beautiful hair. You didn't have big titties yet when you came here. You didn't have a big, you know what, when you came here. You didn't have a Mustang, or I keep saying Mustang. I don't know. Somebody must have a Mustang. You didn't have all of that when you came here. You came here naked. You came here by the way of water, out of a, you know what, some of us maybe, and then some of us came out of the stomach of that woman. We didn't have nothing on us. We were completely stripped and naked. So your worth is not validated by anything externally, anything outside of you. Like, nothing outside of you is to validate your existence, who you are, your worth, or your value. Nobody can determine that for you. No one can determine that for you. The doctors can't come in and say, oh, this baby right here is, oh, you're special, you're better than the other babies in the other. Like, nobody can do that to you. You know what I mean? You came here because you were supposed to be here at the time that you were born, whether you were born a little bit earlier or born a little late, whatever. You came out straight out, or some of you might have had to been forced out, whatever. You came at the time that you were supposed to, before all of the conditioning, and before you were told you had to go to school for this, and you're smart, you're stupid, you're this, you're that. You already had a name that you were called to before you got here. You already had a plan for your life before you got here. You already have steps that are divinely ordered for you, that you're meant to experience in this lifetime, that has nothing to do with what your mama, your daddy, or whoever else tells you you're supposed to be, or what the books tell you, or the culture tells you, or this is what success is. No, I determine what my own success is. Success for me is getting out of bed every morning, sometimes when it's fucking hard. Success for me is overcoming some shit that I never thought that I could. Success for me is saying that I have family, I have love, I have peace of mind where at times where I shouldn't. That's success. Starting up something that was just an idea and actually implementing it. That's success. Being able to share and give of myself to others and give love and give positivity, that's success. To hear someone say thank you for helping me with this, or you've been an instrument to my journey, helpful to my journey, thank you. That's successful to me. Not how much money is in the bank, how many people know my name, and whatever else. That's not success to me. We've been taught that. That's a level of success. I won't discount it. It's a level, yes. But what about the other levels, the external things that you can't take away from somebody? You can take away somebody's degrees. You can take away somebody's job. You can take away somebody's house. You can take away someone's husband. You can take away any other external thing. You can gain weight. You can lose weight. Those perky titties could be saggy titties in the next 10 years. You know what I mean? That healthy penis that you got, it might fall flat someday, right? So certain things is just like, these are things that can be stripped from us at any time. What can't be stripped is your character, is your heart, is your integrity, is your love, the experiences that you have, the feelings that you have, or, you know, the memories or things that, how you made people feel, what they experience with you, and vice versa. Those are things that cannot be taken away, because anything that's ever happened in our life, we remember it, right? We might not remember that one shirt that we just love so much. We might have forgot all about that shirt. I done found some shirts in my grandma's garage that I used to wear, but I'm like, oh my God, I remember this shit. Like, every day I don't even think about that fucking shirt, but I guarantee you I'm thinking about the person that made me feel joy, or that person that hurt me. So those things that we can't erase within our soul's impressions, those are the things that matter. You know? I'm sorry, baby Pico. I just seen this. Says, I literally left or felt this within my cousin last night, bragging about this and that and making fun of me because I have a small business and not a real job. People have all of these things, but most of them we know tend to be the saddest. We can't assume or be jealous of their lives. Yeah, no. No. Mm-mm. And another thing too, like with that, just to piggyback off of that, people that are usually like happy don't have to brag about it. People that are confident don't have to scream from the rooftops that they're so confident and they're so this and that. Like, that is, you're trying to convince yourself of something. So if somebody's telling you, oh, I have this and I have that, but you don't have that, like, first off, why are you even comparing yourself to me? Like, that's number one. That's a red flag, and that's exposure right there. Why are you comparing yourself to me? For what? That spirit of comparison is like a sneaky ass demon, because it gets you caught up. And this is why I say this, because it gets you caught up in, it puts you in that spirit of envy, jealousy, competitiveness. And then it also causes you to have to try to mold yourself to fit what somebody else is doing. And you're never going to be able to keep up with somebody else is doing, because that's their path. That's not your path. Whatever is meant for you, you're going to find more success with being yourself than you ever will with being someone else or trying to be someone else. And I hate to say it like this, but like, these women like out here, like this young generation of women that aspire to be like these socialites, what we call today as Instagram models, they aspire to be that, but they don't know the real deal of what some of these women are doing, or what they have to do to maintain the lifestyle that they do have, or the lifestyle that you think that they have. Because some of this shit be rented. Some of this stuff be sponsored by old men that they have to sleep with, or multiple men that they have to sleep with, men that they don't care about, don't love, or they're selling drugs on this. Like, you don't know a person's life. Coveting another person's beauty and all of that, you don't know. Like, a lot of these people, I'd be like, oh my God, like, when you see what they look like before, they look nothing like that person. And the whole time you over here jealous, oh my God, look at her body. Oh my God, her body is banging. And it's just all just surgery. And you're over here comparing yourself to something that someone really isn't even, like, that wasn't even God given. And it's not to shame a person that does that to themselves. It's more so to say to you, like, you can't look at everything and just be like, oh, I want that. Do you really? Because you don't know what it took to get that. Some people's journeys, the success stories that you see, these might be people that had to go through some shit that you would never be able to do, or never even want to. If you knew what they had to go through, you probably wouldn't want it. Some people had to sleep in their car. Some people lost family members. Some people had near-death experiences. Some people lost everything. Some people lost their minds. Some people were on drugs. Like, you don't want to have to go through, like, that's not your story. If that's not your, don't do it. Have some of these people ain't even really being their authentic self, and they might be getting ahead, yes, because keep it 100, a lot of people, they're more interested in the idea of something than they are the real. Like, people like entertainment, they like performances, so a lot of people just come on and perform and put on a show, and it's very, it appeals to the flesh, it appeals to the ego. And some people like authentic things. They like when people are being their authentic self, but then you have people that are into the superficial brandings. They're into the materialistic lifestyle, and the people that look like they got it, and the boats and the yachts and the rappers and the chains and whatever else. Or, it looks pretty. It looks pretty. But you're not to follow the way of the world. Like, some people, they're going to follow the way of the world, even me saying this, but your soul is never going to be at peace. And I bet you $1 million, and I bet this on my bottom dollar that I don't have $1 million, but I bet my bottom dollar that those people that are living the lifestyle that is opposite of what's true for them, but it works out, they can maintain it, it gets them the life that they say that they want, but their soul is empty, they're not happy. They're not happy. I think it was Paris Hilton's documentary where she kind of said something similar to that. Like, it was very lonely. There was times where she was very lonely, and it looked like she had everything and that she was happy, but she was really lonely. Money can buy happiness to an extent, or make you happy because maybe, you can do other things that you've always wanted to do, and you can afford a certain type of lifestyle. But it doesn't wash away anything within yourself that you're going through. It doesn't take away insecurities. It doesn't take away fear. It doesn't take away childhood trauma. It doesn't fix it. It's not a quick fix. And being married and having your dream job, I've heard people say, I got my dream job and I still wasn't motherfucking happy. I've heard people say that too. You can have seemingly everything you want, but if you're not at peace with yourself, and I say this with conviction because I know it to be true. There's certain things that I've manifested in my life, and I might have been happy for the moment, but that didn't take away something else that was already underlying within me. One of my good friends that is married in a happy relationship, though she still dealt with certain issues within herself, she couldn't find peace even with marrying the right man. So she still had to do the work on herself. So just that within itself, you have that dream home that you've been trying to manifest, the dream job, whatever. If you're not at peace with yourself, it means nothing. It's just another thing that you checked off your box of list, off your Christmas list. That's it. That is it. And we can take for granted the simple things in life that we have, and we'll always externalize and be like, well, I want more. That's what we do. I want more, but I still want this, but I don't have that. Instead of saying I have this for today, and the things that I've wanted in the past that were genuinely, really, truly for me, I've obtained those things. So I can rest in that and know that what's for me is going to come to me, and what's not, it'll pass me by. And that's even better, because I don't understand this. This is a thing that I don't understand about us humans sometimes. When it comes to love, we want the person that's not for us, and even though if they're not for us, because you want that person so bad that you're willing to forfeit something that's better for you, or you get upset that it didn't work out, or you get mad at the fact somebody didn't want you or that they rejected you, rather than moving on and saying, you know what, okay, maybe I was wrong about that, or this person wasn't really truly for me, or this person, okay, maybe they don't like me back, or they ain't feeling me back, or they don't love me. Instead of dwelling on that, you'll say to yourself, well, if that didn't work out, then that means there's still somebody else out there for me. And people get so mad, they don't know how to move on. They get upset with the other person. Some people, they can't move on in the sense of they don't want to live life. And it's just, that doesn't make sense to me. That's a impoverished mindset. That's a poverty mindset to have, to say, if I can't have this thing that's not for me, then I don't want shit. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. You're not entitled to anything or anybody in this world. Experiences, exchanges, those are beautiful parts of the human journey, but you are not, like, you don't possess anything or anybody outside of you. Not even your children. Like, you have a level of authority and a position to protect your children, to cover them, to raise them up, but essentially they don't belong to you. Just as your mate doesn't belong to you or anybody in this world. Like, you can't make something or somebody be with you or want to be with you. You can't do that. It's never going to happen. And why would you want something that don't want you? Like, that just don't make no sense to me. Like, it doesn't. And it hurts, yes. We've all been there where we wanted something that didn't want us. But to cling on to that and to hold resentment in your own heart towards that person or towards yourself, it's going to get you nowhere. Because what you're doing is you're blocking your blessings. Because there is somebody for you. If you desire love, then that means that it's for you. But you have to put yourself in the position to receive it. And your vibration is closed off when you're chasing or you're trying to hold on to something or someone that's not for you. It's selfish. It's selfish all the way around. It's selfish to that person. It's selfish to your person that you're going to be with or that's better suited for you. It's selfish all the way around. It's selfish all the way around. And you're selling yourself short. You're doing yourself a disservice by doing that. Like, you're hurting yourself because you're blocking your blessing. You're blocking your blessing. And it might hurt because we create, first of all, oftentimes we ain't even really in love with some of these people. We just like the idea of some of these motherfuckers. And it don't really be the reality, you know? Or you might not even really be compatible. You're in love with the idea of the person. Or some people are just in love, excuse me, with the idea of love. You could care less about that person. They're just a vessel. They're just a prop in your existence. And that is not real love. That's not true love. It's not unconditional love. And until we really like understand what love is, how can we say that we want something that we know nothing of? Or we don't hold the capacity to, be in at this moment. You don't have to do spell work to get anybody, to keep anybody. Like, if you got to do all of that, then that's not your person. I'm here to tell y'all that. Like, it's crazy. Like, people really think that shit is like cute and that it won't backfire. See, some people gonna get mad. I don't care. I have to say it. I remember this. I wrote down like an affirmation for me and my ex. We were only dating for like 2 months, but we mutually agreed to break up, and he hit me up on Facebook, and I remember talking to him, and he was telling me that he wanted to leave the state. Like, he was ready to leave out of here. He didn't like it here anymore. He wanted to move to Texas or some shit, or I think Dallas, he said specifically. And I was like really panicking and like, no, because in that time that we were dating, we both were like calling each other soulmates and thinking that it was meant to be. So when we broke up, it really was like hard, but it was a relief at the same time because it was just too much. But when we had talked again, I remember writing down like, I want to see him, I want to talk to him, and blah, blah, blah. Like, putting that energy out there. Though it worked for a time, it did not produce the results that I really wanted. So I said to myself, like, I'm going to stop doing that because that's not healthy. What's meant for me is meant for me. I don't got to do all of that. And some people, it's a little more sinister than that, where they do binding spells, they doing candles, they doing baths, and they doing all this shit to keep one specific person and attract. Like, that is dangerous because then you got to deal with the person that doesn't want to leave you alone in a way that's unhealthy. Why would you want somebody obsessed with you? Like, that's just crazy. And then some people that are doing that shit backfires. Some of these like situations where these women are getting hurt and stuff, I really do believe that some of that is a result of witchcraft. And then some people, it turns against them and they're out of their own fucking mind. They've lost it because they've put the energy on the wrong person. Like, you over here trying to manipulate someone else's free will, and there's certain people that are touched by God and anointed that you shouldn't be fucking with. And then you're wondering why everything's falling apart or why you're going crazy. And like, be careful is all I gotta say. Be careful. Be careful. I know I done had some people try to do some stuff on me. Like, good luck with that. You see where you're at now. You're probably fucking crazy. Like, it's just not worth doing all of that. Like, it's too much. Like, just naturally be in alignment with your path. You're gonna, if people knew how easy it was just to stay on track with their purpose and their path and mind theirs, what would come into, what they would come in contact with, versus just struggling and grinding to the ground to, oh, I'm going to raise hell, I'm going to ruin everybody's life around me, or I'm going to make this person miserable, or I want this and I want that and I'm going to make it happen, and or just being miserable somewhere crying over something that is not meant for you, rather than just living your life, finding peace and joy within yourself. You're going to attract everything that's for you, that's healthy for you. You don't got to work that hard. You don't have to do that. Love, truly and honestly, should not feel like hell. It should not feel that way. Real love should not feel that way. Is it perfect? Meaning like y'all don't have life circumstances where you have your ups and downs, or you might tick each other off. But when you got to constantly convince someone to love you, or why you're the better candidate, or, oh, I'll wait for you until you leave this woman, you know, you sleeping with all these chicks and I'm waiting for you to see that I'm the better woman because I cook and I clean and I have sex good with you and this, and I'm a whatever. Like, you don't have to do that with the right person. You just fucking don't. And some people gonna be mad because we want what we want. I understand that. But it is not that hard. Divine gifts and blessings, all you got to do is be in a place to receive it. You don't have to force anything to come to you. You can speak life and existence into your desires, your hopes, and your dreams, but your heart is open to receive the best thing that is better suited for you, in alignment with you. It may be beyond your wildest dreams. It may be beyond what you're stating out of your mouth that you want, because your higher self, your divine being, your soul ultimately knows what you're asking for and what it is that you truly desire. So if you just limit it to certain things and you're constantly being met with resistance, like, some shit we got to get past our ego, that we can't manifest everything that we want. If we were able to manifest everything that we wanted, how chaotic that would be. If we were able to just snap our fingers and have this and have that, especially things that are not for our highest good, how chaotic that would be. We have free will. So certain things, like some people, it's just like you keep asking, okay, be careful what you ask for, and you get it, and then it becomes your worst nightmare. That's why I do love readings, you guys. I always stress that when you want something in your heart, make sure that it's divinely aligned with like what's for you, what's healthy for your soul and your spirit, and who's healthy for your heart and your spirit. Because some of the times, like, we only see a portion of what we really want, and we don't see the full picture. We don't fully understand it. A person could be a good guy or a good woman, but they just may not be for you. You and this person may not be compatible in ways that you really need, that you really desire within yourself, that you really would appreciate. You're only seeing a portion of what you want. And oftentimes love comes at a time where you're not looking for it. You're not going to have to aimlessly search and try to force or control it to happen. If a person is showing you that they're not interested, or a person is showing you that they don't value you, it's not your job to try to pull it and reel it back in and convince them. The people that are for you, and this goes for soul tribe, family, this goes for friends, people that do not value you, you exit stage left. That is a lesson learned for me. I'm not performing or trying to convince anybody why I'm a good candidate to be in your life. If you don't value me as a friend, you don't want me as a partner, you're not interested, bye. You playing games and all that, you confused, you don't know what you want, and I'm good. Bye. Work smarter, not harder, Spirit is saying. Work smarter, not harder. You don't have to chase what is for you. What's for you aligns with you. If you're chasing it, it's running from you. Point blank, period. Let it go. There's nothing in my life that I had to let go of and walk away from or left me that is something that I needed later on when I really, really lived life and moved on. Looking back, sometimes I'd be like, why the fuck did I want that? Why did I allow this person to be in my life so long? Like, the revelation that comes with detachment. For real. There's people that I used to cry over. Oh my God. And like, one of them is in jail. Like, he got a whole tattoo on his forehead. He's certified nuts. This dude fucking fucked my whole teenage years up. Like, he fucked me up in every which way. And I thought that I loved him and I thought he was my one. That dude is in prison for the rest, like, not even the rest of his life, but like half of his adult years is gonna be gone. By the time he get out, he gonna be like Steve Harvey's age. Like, he threw his life away. He's fucking crazy. And I used to cry over this dude, and I look back, I was like, Chenoa, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you let this little crazy ass dude ruin your fucking teenage years, cause you these massive trust issues, and girl, not one ninja that I know that ever fucked with me is living a better life. Not one that I can think of. Not even that best friend that, like, was fucking Ronnie from the Players Club. Like, she had that type of energy where she was just like the so-called bad bee. She was a bully. She was competitive. She was jealous. She would always put me in bad situations. You know, whenever we would be around, she would love bomb me. It's sad, but the last that I've seen of her, she was on drugs. Pretty bad. Like, she was a fuller sized girl. She looked unhealthy. So I don't know too many people that have done me dirty that are living a peaceful life. It doesn't work like that. Especially people that I was genuinely either in love with or cared about, or I considered them family or a sister or whatever. That ain't gonna go over well. Let shit go that's not for you. I had to walk away from that friendship because I kept having nightmares about something happening to me around her. That's the only reason why I stopped talking to her, because I forgave her after that whole incident, the assault with her side dude putting his hands on me for standing up for her. When my intuition told me to go home, I stayed for her. I forgave her after that. We still hung out after that. But God kept warning me to stay away from her in these dreams, and I cut her off. And I don't regret it, because I probably wouldn't be here to tell the story. Because it's always the people that are like the innocent bystanders and shit that are the ones that something bad happens to. And they get to live, and unfortunately they have to live with the regret or the consequences of whatever. But I don't want to live to see that, because I have a daughter. But if God is pulling you away from something or somebody, or telling you no to it, and it may not be as bad as those situations, but God knows what's for you. And it's like, let's say hypothetically you were to get that job that you're chasing after, and God is like, no, that is not for you. That's not it for you. And you're just like, no, I want this job. I want this job. And you get it, and you're miserable every day. You know, it's not what you thought it was going to be. So don't chase anything that is not aligning with you. There's a reason. Yes, there's divine timing in things. Sometimes there could be spiritual blockages in the way. But if it's something that spirit is not in agreement with, it's just not aligning. Like, you could tell when spirit's not in agreement with things, because it's just like things are not lining up. There's nothing convicting this, like showing you like, yeah, this is coming together, encouraging you. It's all you. It's all your own motivation. It's all your strength. And you're growing tired because you're not getting the results that you want, because that is not the path for you. It's not. The dude that is treating you like garbage, or the chick that is just not. Why chase something like that? You're telling yourself, you're saying yes to garbage. And it's crazy to think that younger me, I was only 16 when I met that guy. I was telling you about this in jail, looking crazy. Anyway, I used to cry over that dude all the time, and I would think that that was the man I was supposed to be with, and I would go to church and I would pray for him and thinking that he was going to be my man and all this stuff. And then fast forward, like all the stuff that he put me through, like all the stuff that a teenage girl should not go through at that age. That's something like 20-year-old women talk about that they've been through with toxic men. A teenage girl should not go through the shit that I went through with that boy. And to think that that's something that God would want for me is crazy. It's sad. Like straight delusion. To think that or a friend like that competes with you, that puts you in dangerous situations, and to think that that is a friend, to call that person or to call that girl a friend or a sister is crazy. You don't deserve that type of shit. I don't care if you felt like